The Philippine peso has a long and complex history shaped by Spanish, American, Japanese, and independent Filipino governance. After independence in 1946, the Central Bank of the Philippines, established in 1949, began issuing new coins and banknotes to symbolize national sovereignty. By the late 1970s, inflation and economic policy changes led to a redesign of coinage, including the introduction of the Flora and Fauna series, where the 1982 10 Sentimo belongs. Introduced in 1981, the Flora and Fauna coin series replaced the NG Bagong Lipunan ABL coinage. This new design aimed to celebrate the country's natural heritage by featuring native plants and animals alongside national heroes. The 10 Sentimo featured Francisco Baltazar on the obverse and the wailing orchid on the reverse. The year 1982 was during the presidency of Ferdinand Marcos, whose regime emphasized nationalist imagery and infrastructure projects but was also marked by political tension and growing economic challenges. Coin production continued to reflect both patriotism and practical economic needs. Francisco Baltazar, also known as Francisco Baltazar, the 19th century Filipino poet and author of Flora and Fauna, symbolizing literary and cultural pride. Republica ng Pilipinas encircles the top, with the denomination 10 Sentimo at the bottom. 1982 appears prominently under the portrait, designed with fine engraving to preserve details. Even on such a small coin, the wailing and Sanderiana, an orchid species considered one of the most beautiful in the world, native to Mindanao, represents the Philippines' rich biodiversity and natural treasures. The official coat of arms of the Republic of the Philippines. The 1980 10 Sentimo coin was minted in aluminum, making it extremely lightweight, 0.65 grams, and resistant to corrosion. This choice reduced minting costs but also made the coin prone to wear over. Considered the Prince of Tagalog, poets featuring him on the 10 Sentimo coin symbolize the value placed on Philippine literature and nationalism, especially under a regime keen on promoting cultural pride. Nicknamed the Queen of Philippine Orchids, symbol of exotic beauty and biodiversity, represents resilience and rarity, making it a fitting choice for national currency. Art. Most 1982 10 Sentimo coins are common, but their condition matters. Uncirculated, mint state can fetch higher prices among collectors. Circulated, usually worth face value or slightly more for bulk buyers. However, pristine 1982 strikes are harder to find, due to aluminum's softness. 5 to replace the Flora and Fauna series of the 1980s. The 25 Sentimo coin of 2002 belongs to this BSP series and continued the trend of honoring Filipino national heroes on currency, this time highlighting the contributions of Juan Luna, a national icon of art and patriotism. Features a left-facing bust of Juan Luna, the famous painter, patriot, and political activist. His name, Juan Luna, is inscribed along the left side. The legend Republica ng Pilipinas arcs along the upper periphery. The year 2002 is placed at the bottom center. Juan Luna is best remembered for his painting Spoliarium, which became a symbol of the Filipino struggle against colonial oppression and pride in national identity. The reverse displays the denomination, 25 Sentimo, in large font. Below that is the official seal of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas BSP. The BSP logo used was the 1993 version, which was modernized to reflect a progressive and autonomous central bank. This design highlights the BSP's commitment to monetary stability and financial integrity, following the Central Bank Act of 1993 that restructured the country's financial governance. 2002. The 25 Sentimo coin was still widely used in everyday transactions. Prices in markets and jeepney fares often included centavo amounts. Coins of this denomination ensured accuracy in change and contributed to price stability. Its size, weight, and gold-like color also made it easily distinguishable from other coins, aiding the visually impaired and elderly in identifying money. The Philippine economy, in 2002, was recovering from the Asian financial crisis of the late 1990s. The government focused on controlling inflation, strengthening the peso, and modernizing its currency system. The 25 Sentimo remained essential for maintaining precision in pricing and for public confidence in the reliability of coinage. Choosing Juan Luna for the 25 Sentimo denomination was symbolic. It linked the economic life of the people with national heritage and cultural pride. As a revolutionary artist, Luna-inspired patriotism, making this coin not just currency, but a reminder of Filipino resilience and identity. The 2005 Sentimo coin was mass-produced and saw heavy circulation, especially in played a vital role in exact change, especially when combined with 10 and 5 Sentimo coins. 1 Piso coin of 2013 stands as a vital component of the country's circulating currency and national identity. Issued under the New Generation Currency Coin Series, this coin reflects the evolving vision of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas BSP for a modern, secure, and culturally significant monetary system. 2013, the Philippines was undergoing steady economic growth. The government was focused on stabilizing inflation, encouraging investment, and modernizing its currency system. The BSP had already begun phasing in redesigned coins under the New Generation Currency and GC initiative, which aimed to make Philippine currency more durable, cost-effective, and secure against counterfeiting. 2013 1 Piso was part of the BSP coin series that began circulating in the early 2010s. It was a continuation of the rebranding and modernization started by the NGC banknote series in 2010, although it retained the same design introduced in 2003. The 2013 1 Piso coin still carried the strength of tradition and modern governance. Jose Rizal represents intellectual courage, nonviolent resistance, and the Filipino people's yearning for freedom. His presence on the 1 Piso coin continues a legacy of reverence, dating back to the 1970s. Shows the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas BSP logo at the center. The name Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas is encircled around the logo. The logo used was the 1993 design, featuring a gear industry, a Philippine eagle, national pride and vigilance, and 3 stars representing Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. The switch to nickel-plated steel from copper-nickel helped cut production costs while maintaining a durable finish, resistant to corrosion and wear. The 1 Piso coin is one of the most heavily circulated denominations in the Philippines. In 2013, it was used in virtually all types of transactions. It was also frequently used in exact change for prices ending in 75, 50, or 25 pesos. The 1 Piso coin retained significant purchasing power in 2013. Inflation over the years began to diminish its real-world buying strength. Nonetheless, it remained essential to daily commerce, especially for those relying on microtransactions. Dr. Jose Rizal, featured on this coin, is a monumental figure in Philippine history, a physician, writer, and revolutionary thinker. Rizal authored Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo, works that stirred the national conscience during Spanish colonial rule. His peaceful advocacy for reforms made him a symbol of freedom, education, and intellectual resistance, placing Rizal on the 1 Piso coin honors his enduring legacy and keeps his memory alive in everyday life. Before the BSP coin series, 2000's 2017 the Flora and Fauna series, 1980s 1994, featured different imagery including plants and animals. The 1995203 BSP series introduced modern Filipino heroes. The 2013 coin continues this evolution, blending tradition Jose Rizal with a sleek, simplified design. 2018, the BSP launched a new version of the 1 Piso coin under the NGC coin series. The 201310 Sentimo coin belongs to the New Generation Currency NGC coin series of the Philippines, which was officially released by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas BSP in December 2011 and fully circulated in the years following, including 2013. This series replaced the BSP coin series, issued from 1995 to 2017 for some denominations, with a modern, unified design that incorporated updated security features, lighter weight metals, and themes that showcase the country's rich history and natural heritage. Before 2011, the BSP noticed that the smaller denominations, especially centavo coins, were underused or often hoarded and melted for scrap because of rising metal prices. The new series aimed to reduce production costs by using cheaper metal alloys, modernize the national currency design, and promote national symbols. By 2013, the NGC coins were in full production, including the 10 Sentimo, which had a fresh look compared to previous decades. Issues. The 10 Sentimo 2013 coin featured a minimalist yet symbolic design. The denomination 10 Sentimo prominently displayed the official seal of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, updated in 2010 to a modern look. Smooth edges, unlike earlier reeded designs of past coins. To make the coin cost-effective, The BSP used nickel-plated steel for the 10 centimo. This metal was durable, rust-resistant, and less expensive than the copper-based alloys of older coins. The coin had a small diameter, around 17 millimeters, and was very lightweight, making it the smallest denomination in the NGC series. 2013, inflation had significantly reduced the purchasing power of the 10 centimo coin. It was primarily used for exact change in supermarkets, public transportation fare adjustments, and utility bill payments. Despite its limited buying power, the coin remained essential for accounting purposes and was legally required to be accepted as part of exact payments. The inclusion of the Kappa plant was part of the BSP's initiative to highlight native flora on lower denomination coins. This plant is known for its striking pink bracts and flowers, symbolizing beauty and natural pride. It also reflected the Philippines' commitment to biodiversity preservation, as the coin series featured native plants on smaller denominations and native fauna on higher coins. The year 2013 was significant for the BSP because it was in the early stages of completely transitioning to the NGC coin series. During this time, the mint faced challenges in public education about the new designs, as many Filipinos initially found the new coins too similar in color and size. While the 2013 10 centimo is not rare in circulated condition, uncirculated and proof-like specimens are sought by collectors. These coins have value mainly for numismatic completeness, especially for those building full-year sets of the NGC series. Certain era coins from 2013, such as off-center strikes or misaligned dies, can fetch higher prices in the collector's market.
7. Philippine 1 peso coin. A coin that represents not just currency, but national pride, economic transition, and cultural identity. This long-form historical breakdown offers a true and real account of its background, features, and significance. The 1997 Philippine 1 peso coin is part of the BSP series, Bangko Sentral in Pilipinas series, which was introduced in 1995. This series replaced the earlier Ang Bagong Lipunan (ABL) coins and marked a new era in Philippine currency. The 1990s in the Philippines were marked by economic reforms and growth under the leadership of President Fidel V. Ramos. The issuance of new coins reflected stability and modernization under the Bangko Sentral in Pilipinas, re-established in 1993. The obverse features the portrait of Jose Rizal, the national hero of the Philippines. His image symbolizes patriotism, education, and sacrifice. Above the portrait, you'll find the words Republica in Pilipinas and the year 1997 below it. The reverse of the coin features the BSP logo, introduced after its rechartering in 1993. This is the first time the new modern BSP seal was used on coins. It also includes the denomination 1 peso clearly displayed. The 1997 1 peso was widely circulated and used in everyday. The 1997 1 peso and other BSP series coins were phased out starting 2018, with the introduction of the new generation currency NGC series. However, the older coins, including 1997, still hold numismatic and sentimental value. This coin was minted by the Bangko Sentral in Pilipinas security plant complex. It was mass-produced in the late 1990s to meet high national demand, although it remains legal tender. Most 1997 1 peso coins in circulated condition are worth their face value. However, uncirculated, proof or error coins can fetch higher prices among collectors. Some 1997 coins are sought after if they have minting errors, like the presence of Rizal keeps his legacy alive. For many, the coin serves as a reminder of national pride and the continuing relevance of his ideals in modern times. Some counterfeit versions of this coin have been found in circulation, especially during the late 1990s and early 2000s. As the BSP later enhanced its coinage security features in response, many schools and history classes used the coin as part of numismatic education to teach students about heroes and history through currency. The coin's use of nickel-plated steel was part of a shift away from more expensive and less sustainable materials, like copper and aluminum bronze. Upon its release, the 1997 coin was generally welcomed, although some citizens missed the designs of older coins, especially those of the ABL series coins like
1984. The Philippines was under the administration of President Ferdinand E. Marcos. During a politically and economically turbulent period, the country was facing high inflation, economic instability, and growing political unrest, which influenced currency design and production. The BSP Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas was still known as the Central Bank of the Philippines at the time. Coins minted during this period often reflected both the nation's heritage and the practical need for durable, low-denomination currency. The 10 Sentimo coin was part of the Flora and Fauna series, introduced in 1983 and issued until the early 1990s. This series replaced the earlier Ng Bagong Lipunan ABL coinage and aimed to promote national identity through designs featuring native plants and animals. Obverse front displays the denomination 10 Sentimo. The year 1984 and a detailed image of the Bismarck palm, Bismarckia nobilis, a plant notable for its fan-shaped leaves, chosen to represent the country's rich flora. The word Republica ng Pilipinas encircles the design, features the coat of arms of the Philippines, with the words, Central Bank of the Philippines Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas was adopted later in 1993. The shield is flanked by symbols of national sovereignty and heritage. Specifications: composition brass, weight 1.75 grams, 17 millimeters, smooth, mint produced by the Royal Mint of Spain under contract, as well as local mints in the Philippines. 1984, 10 Sentimo, had purchasing power roughly equivalent to several pesos today, making it a practical coin for small transactions like buying candies, jeepney fares, and market goods. However, due to rapid inflation in the late 1980s, its value diminished significantly, and by the 1990s it was rarely used. Today, the 198-for-10 Sentimo is mostly a collector's piece rather than a coin in active circulation. Common circulation condition: very low monetary value, often less than 10 cents, and circulated or proof condition: can fetch a few dollars. Among collectors, especially if the strike is sharp and luster is intact. Historical interest: more valuable for those studying Philippine monetary history during the Marcos era and the Flora and Fauna series. The Flora and Fauna series marked a break from politically themed coins, focusing instead on biodiversity. Despite being made in brass, many 1984, 10 Sentimo coins show heavy wear because they circulated heavily during the mid-1980s economic crisis. It was demonetized in January 2, 1998, meaning it could no longer be used as legal tender. If you want, I can also prepare a longer historical narrative that ties the 198-for-10 Sentimo coin to the political and economic events of the Philippines in the Marcos era, making it more 70. The Philippines was under the presidency of Ferdinand Marcos. The country was experiencing both economic development and social unrest. This period saw modernization efforts that extended into currency reform. The Philippine peso was decimalized in 1967, and coins were redesigned to reflect national identity and heritage. The 1970 10 Sentimo coin belongs to the early batch of the Flora and Fauna series, also called the Filipino series. This series replaced English-language coinage with Filipino inscriptions to promote nationalism. Portrait: Apolinario Mabini, a Filipino revolutionary hero and political philosopher, is featured on the obverse. Text: Republica ng Pilipinas surrounds his portrait, with the year 1970 below. The coin was engraved by Filipino artists under the supervision of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. BSP Mabini, known as the Sublime Paralytic, was a symbol of intellect, resistance, and integrity. His image on the coin honored his role in the First Philippine Republic. Main feature: the reverse displays the denomination 10 Sentimo. Prominently in the center, the coat of arms of the Philippines is located above the denomination. Language: all text was written in Filipino, reflecting the national language policy post-independence. Brass alloy gave the coin a distinct golden hue, making it both attractive and durable for circulation. The coin was mass-produced in 1970 and widely circulated across the country. It was intended for everyday transactions like buying candies, jeepney fares, or small snacks in sari-sari stores. While common in the 1970s, finding a 10 Sentimo 1970 Coin in uncirculated or mint condition. Today is increasingly rare. Its collector value depends on the following: circulated condition, worth about Philippine peso 5, Philippine peso 15, uncirculated condition, Philippine peso 52, Philippine peso 100. Depending on shine and strike proof, or error, coins may fetch higher prices, Philippine peso 200 plus, especially if they exhibit off-center strikes or doubling. It was one of the smallest coins in circulation during the 1970s. Many Filipinos of the time recall using the 10 centimo to pay bus conductors or buy bubble gum. It was eventually withdrawn from circulation and demonetized when newer coin series were introduced in the 1990s. Thus, coins like the 1970 10 centimo hold cultural and nostalgic value, especially for older generations who grew up during the Marcos era. It's often collected by enthusiasts who aim to complete sets from the Filipino series. Look for bright luster and sharp details on Mabini's face. Avoid coins with corrosion or heavy scratches. Store in coin holders or albums to preserve condition. The late 1960s and early 1970s were politically intense years for the Philippines. The country was undergoing reforms, protests, and growing social awareness. President Ferdinand Marcos was in his second term in 1970, and the first quarter storm, student-led protests, demanding reforms highlighted the public as frustrations with the government. Amid this, the Philippine government pushed nationalistic symbols, including the redesign of its currency. The new coins were meant to instill pride in Filipino heritage and heroes, including figures like Mabini, Jose Rizal, and Andres Bonifacio. Prior to the 1970 coin, Philippine coins used English-language inscriptions, a remnant of American colonial rule. However, in the 1960s, the Filipino series was introduced to promote Filipino language and culture through everyday objects, especially coins. The 1970 10 centimo coin continued this movement, replacing Republic of the Philippines with Republica ng Pilipinas and focusing on national icons. These coins became a part of everyday life and helped normalize the Filipino language in formal government use. Apolinario Mabini, featured on the obverse, is more than just a revolutionary figure. He symbolizes intellect, resistance, and moral integrity. Despite being paralyzed from the waist down, Mabini became one of the most powerful minds of the Philippine Revolution. Placing Mabini on the 10 centimo coin sent a strong message. Intellect and integrity are the currency of national progress, even at the most accessible denomination. 1970 coins share similarities with those minted in surrounding years. Each annual release had slight differences in. During the 1970s, coin production faced challenges due to global metal price fluctuations or relied on imported equipment. This period saw inconsistent minting quality, making pristine examples of the 1970 10 centimo coin more valuable today. That value seems tiny, but back then, every centimo counted. The coin represents a time when the Philippine economy was more reliant on coin-based transactions. The late 1990s, the BSP introduced new coin designs with improved security features and changed sizes to avoid confusion. The 1970 10 centimo coin was demonetized along with others in the Filipino series, as it no longer met modern currency standards. Coins that weren't returned to the BSP were either discarded or saved by collectors and sentimentalists. The coin's modest denomination makes it accessible to beginner collectors, while pristine pieces hold strong value. The Philippines has a long history of coinage, dating back to pre-colonial barter trade, Spanish colonial silver reales, American-era centavos, and the post-independence coin systems. Before the release of the 2015 coin, the 25 centimo denomination had already existed for decades in various forms, including the Flora and Fauna series, 1983-1994, and the BSP series 1995-017. The BSP series 25 centimo, which the 2015 coin belongs to, was first issued in 1995 as part of the country's currency reform after the 1983 and 1985 inflation adjustments. Its design remained unchanged for over 2 decades, making it one of the most stable designs in Philippine coinage. 2015, the Philippine economy was growing steadily, with rising consumer spending and remittances from overseas Filipino workers (OFWs). Small denominations like the 25 centimo still played an important role in retail trade, public transportation fares, and vending machine transactions. However, inflation was slowly reducing its purchasing power, and it was often used for giving exact change. The 2015-5 Sentimo retained the BSP series design that had been used since 1995, displays the denomination 25 Sentimo in bold lettering. Shows the year of minting 2015. At the bottom, features the stylized BSP logo introduced in 1993, symbolizing stability and trust in the country's monetary system. Depicts a Philippine national hero, Juan Luna, one of the most celebrated Filipino painters and revolutionaries of the late 19th century. The inscription Republica ng Pilipinas curves along the top. The coin honors Luna's contributions, not only as an artist, but also as a patriot during the propaganda movement. The coin was minted by the security plant complex of the BSP in Quezon City. The 2015 issue was part of the last few years of the BSP series before the Philippines transitioned to the new generation currency coin series in 2018. Because the BSP series coins were widely produced, the 2015 25 Sentimo is generally common in circulation. However, uncirculated or proof-like pieces, especially in mint condition, are valued by collectors. The inclusion of Juan Luna on the 25 Sentimo is significant. He was a genius painter, famous for his masterpiece, Spoliarium, which won a gold medal in Madrid in 1884. His artworks not only showcased Filipino talent but also inspired nationalism during the Spanish colonial era. Luna was deeply involved in the propaganda movement, advocating for reforms and equal rights for Filipinos. His presence on the coin reflects the BSP's commitment to honoring national heroes and promoting cultural heritage through currency design. The BSP introduced the NGC series coins, replacing the 25 Sentimo Juan Luna design with a simpler version featuring only the denomination, year, and a Philippine flora, the wailing orchid. The new coins aimed to improve recognition, prevent counterfeiting, and unify the country's modern coinage design. This makes the 2015 25 Sentimo